Liz, how do you determine what is fact and what is fiction in your books?
Well, I write historical romance fiction. So presumably everything is fictionalized, at least, even when I'm writing about historical figures. So that needs to be made clear right up front. That it's my perception of those people and how I interpret what I have read about them. Um, so basically, I think it's a fact that yes, Napoleon Bonaparte married Josephine, and he was first consul, and then he became emperor, and those kind of things are factual. But basically, there's really fact is not an important element. It's just not to misrepresent anyone that is a historical character, and to make them as real as possible. And so that way I read, like I said, memoirs and other books that are written, and there may be direct quotes about what Napoleon said. There may be, I may not use the direct quote, but I get the essence of how his demeanor was when he said that in the presence of the memoir writer. So I would say he was short-tempered about something. I can say that because he was known to be. It's written that he was. So basically, most of my characters are fictional, strictly from my imagination. But as I shared earlier, that Marie and Janine were not just in my imagination, they were the result of something that I saw in my past life regression. But that still, some people would say that's in my imagination.
Yeah.
And so that's basically how it is that I'm not writing a story trying to tell you about history as it actually should be written. I'm telling you about a story that I imagine that took place at a historical setting. So that's pretty much it as far as I know.
Okay. Do you have an anecdote to share about a reading or fan interaction?
Well, it's neither fan nor a reading.
Okay.
But I think this is somewhat interesting that I got interested enough in hypnotherapy that I took a course in it, and I completed that course and became a certified hypnotherapist.
Oh, you did.
And I kept that for 2 years because that's what it was issued for, the certification. And I really didn't do it to help people stop smoking or even to do past life regressions. I did it from my interest in it. And so I did some regressions and things on family and friends, but never, in the business of it. And then at the end of the 2-year period, that was in 2006, by the way. And at the end of the 2 years, I didn't renew my certification because I thought, well, I'm not going to be doing this all the time. And you really had to take new courses and keep up with the field, which made sense. But I thought that was sort of interesting. I actually was certified hypnotherapist.
That is news to me. I did not know that.
I knew you didn't. A lot of people, or most people, don't know that. Very few do.
And which makes sense as far as how you've explained what made you want to write historical fiction to begin with.
And like I also mentioned that in Chateau Fleury, Return to Chateau Fleury, there are regression scenes in that story, and I feel like I'm prepared to write them because I've gone through the course. I've been regressed.
You've experienced that.
Yeah, so from all sides I know about that.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.